Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. Last week I made lemon cheesecake and I still have some leftover lemons. So this week I'm going to make mini lemon meringue tarts. They are a crowd favorite. Everybody will love them. So let's get cooking. So when you think that you're going to make lemon curd for your lemon tarts, you think it's very difficult, but it is so simple. When I first made this recipe, I was blown away by how simple it is. Honestly, all you need are eggs, sugar, and lemon. So first off, we're going to separate our egg yolks and our egg whites. The yolks are going to be for the curd and the whites are going to be for the meringue. So let's go ahead and get those separated. Make sure you use a separate bowl because even the tiniest little dot of yolk in your meringue will ruin it. You cannot have any yolk whatsoever. So let's go ahead and separate these out. All right, so I have everything separated. I put my egg yolks into the pan I'm gonna be using to cook them. And then I have the egg whites in a separate bowl, and that's what I'm gonna set aside and use for our meringue. I only have to use 4 egg whites, but I have to use 6 egg yolks. So whatever you wanna do with those other 2 egg whites, it's up to you. Make an omelet or something. Small omelet, but an omelet. So I'm gonna set that stuff aside. And I'm gonna throw in 1 cup of sugar into this bowl. And then I'm gonna grate in the zest of our lemon. About 2 or 3 of these lemons should do it. So those lemons were a decent size, so I'm just gonna use 2, but I might use all 3 for the juice that we're gonna need later. So we're just gonna give this a quick mix up. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick whisk just to get everything combined, my sugar and my lemon zest. Doesn't take much. Kind of turns the sugar crumbly and like a yellow color, a little bit thick. I don't know if you can see that. You can kind of, you know, it's wet. It's not just falling through the whisk. And that's good. And then I'm gonna go ahead and give our egg yolks here a quick little whisk up. Nothing crazy, just to break them apart. All right, and then we're just gonna go ahead and dump our sugar mixture in and whisk it some more. We're gonna get like a nice consistency here. All the sugar should dissolve. See, it's nice and thick, yellow from the yolk. That's what it should look like. And then we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put in the juice of 3 lemons. It should be roughly a half a cup of lemon juice, but I mean, we can eyeball it. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. So let's go ahead and juice the lemons. You know what you should do first, actually, before you even cut them? This one's a little bit hard, even if it was a little soft. If you roll it and put some pressure on it and roll it, it will release the juices of the lemon and just make you have that much more juice without having to squeeze it so hard. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And then just squeeze it right in. And I'm gonna use my hand. You kind of use your fingers as a filter so you don't get any of the seeds. Wow, 3 lemons and only 1 seed, pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this a quick stir. Get everything in there. And really, we're almost done. The next thing we have to do is throw it on the heat, and it'll become, it goes from being liquid, it's very liquidy now, and it will firm right up and become your curd. And no time at all, you're having lemon curd. So yummy. All right, I'm gonna throw this on the heat. Come on, take a closer look. All right, so we're gonna be stirring this consistently. We do not want to burn it. This is on a medium-high heat, and we just need to keep stirring it, and almost like magic, all of a sudden it'll just get thick and become lemon curd. It's quite crazy. So you can't see the change right now, but I can feel the change. It's already getting slightly thicker. All right, here comes the magic. I can feel it getting thicker, and with just a few seconds left, it will just thicken right up, and you can make this to the consistency that you want. I like this to be a little on the thicker side. It's right about boiling. That's why it's gonna thicken up so well. Oh, here it goes, it's getting thick. You can tell it's almost not quite doubled in volume, but close. Oh, nice and thick now. Not quite where I want it, but you can see now it's getting thicker. It's coating the sides. I think that's about right where I want it. And this will firm up even more once it's cooled down. Beautiful. All right, we're gonna take it off the heat. All right, so I'm gonna add a stick of butter. It's nice and cold. We're just gonna add this right in here. And this is like adding ice cubes to a cold drink. This will just cool down our lemon curd and make it delicious. It gives it a nice, luxurious texture, nice and creamy. And we're just gonna whisk this in until it is all combined and melted. You can see how firm this is already, like so good. All right, so now all of our butter is melted, and what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to run this right through my little sieve here, because I want to get all that lemon pulp out that we zested into the sugar earlier. So I'm just gonna put this right in here. Oh my gosh, so good. And the crazy thing is this just thickens up on its own. There's no cornstarch or gelatin or anything like that in here. So we're just gonna go ahead and go like this. And putting it in a bigger bowl like this will also help it cool down faster. I do want it slightly runny for our tarts though. See, look at all that pulp that was in there. I mean, and if you like the pulp or don't mind it, feel free just to not even run it through the sieve. Feel free to just eat it as is. All right. All right, so now we're gonna get working on our crust. And this one calls for flour, but I think that in the future, I'm gonna try the almond flour. That way this whole recipe is gluten-free, which would be great for some of my family members. So first off, I have 1 1/4 cup of flour. I'm just gonna dump this into my food processor here. And I have 1/3 cup of confectioner's sugar. We're gonna do 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And we're just gonna give that a quick mix up. So easy. And then we're going to add 1 stick or 1/2 cup of cold butter. And I'm gonna do it in about 1 tablespoon pats. And just throw these in here. We're gonna mix this up till it's nice and sandy. Here we go. All right, so this is the coarse texture that we're looking for, and then we're gonna add water, and we're only gonna add about a tablespoon, maybe 2. It's cold water. We just want this to barely start to stick together. I'm gonna add maybe a half a tablespoon more and mix this up. So that's good right there. So this is a very soft dough. You pinch it, it comes together, and you can actually just spoon this into our little tins. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll it out with a rolling pin and make little circles. I found that to be a little bit faster way. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm gonna sprinkle a little bit of flour on here. That should be good. Gonna dump this right on top. What I should do is take my rings off, because this gets a little messy. All right, then we're just gonna go ahead and I got too much flour. Squish this together. All right, so we're just gonna make a ball. And this is a very soft dough. And we're gonna roll it out really thin. See, it's almost like Play-Doh. I just want a real nice thin layer. So I'm gonna go ahead and use this 3-inch one. This looks like it's gonna be about the right size. I'm just gonna go ahead and get all of our shapes cut out. And we're gonna have to refold and re-roll out this dough probably a couple times. All right, so that is the longest, most painful process out of this entire ordeal, except for maybe this next part. This next part, we're gonna be putting these in here, and they are so delicate that it is really easy to tear them. So, well, let's just get going on it. So I'm gonna go in here and just very carefully kind of just work it in. So careful. Push it down. You can actually kind of fold the edges over a little bit. That's perfectly fine. These do shrink up a tiny bit too, but you don't want an air pocket in there. So let me go ahead and grab a toothpick real fast. And we're just gonna burst this little air pocket that's in here, and they're really hard to avoid because of how delicate you have to be. So there we go. Punch the little air pocket out. Otherwise, this is going to, if you have the air pocket, it's gonna poof up the middle and you're not gonna have that much room for your filling. And the filling is the best part. So let's just keep on going. All right, so totally miscounted, missing one, but that's okay. Because it's not like this is for an order or anything. This is just me having fun. And as you can see, these don't look pretty. They're not like gorgeous little things. And if you're trying to be a little bit more professional, they're, you could make them neater. But these are literally just gonna pop right into your mouth. So I don't really think they need to be cute, and it adds a little homemade character to it. Let's go ahead and pop these into the oven. They're gonna go in at 375 for 10 minutes. So we're gonna move right along while my tarts are cooking, and I'm gonna make the meringue. Now, I don't know why, but I find making meringue so satisfying because it goes from this yucky blech of egg whites, this nice, fluffy, almost like marshmallowy texture, and I just love it. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw some lemon into my bowl, and this is not for the recipe for the meringue. This is to make sure that all my fats are out of this bowl, because if we have any fat in here, the meringue will not fluff up. And since I made American buttercream in this bowl last, and even though I've washed it thoroughly, this is just extra precaution that there's no fat left over. You can use lemon or vinegar. I prefer lemon. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle it in here and wipe it down with a paper towel. And this just helps clean out your bowl a little bit better. That's all you have to do. So I'm gonna throw this on here. Maybe, there we go. And I'm gonna go ahead and put in, this is 4 egg whites from our eggs from earlier. I'm just gonna dump it right in. And I'm gonna throw in a pinch of salt. It's probably, that's more than I wanted, but that's probably close to a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm gonna dump the rest of this one out, so I don't want that much. I didn't want that much, so I just dumped that in my sink. And we're gonna throw in a couple dashes of cream of tartar. This just helps the meringue set up. So this is probably also close to a 1/4 teaspoon. Yep. And you know what I didn't get? My attachment. And what we want is the whisk attachment. So let me go grab that. Here we go. Now at first I'm gonna put this on a slower speed, slow medium. And once it starts to froth up, and I'm gonna show you how that goes every step of the way. But once it starts to froth, then that's when I'm gonna kick up the speed. All right, so this is just the egg white, salt, and the cream of tartar. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn this on to a low medium speed. All right, so right now this is barely soft, as you can see. It does form a little peak when you do that, but it doesn't stay on there. It doesn't stay upright. That's just a soft peak. And what I'm gonna do now is I'm going to add my vanilla. And I'm gonna put in about a teaspoon. I'm really bad, I don't ever measure anything really. Yeah, roughly a teaspoon. And I'm gonna put this back on a low setting, and I'm gonna sprinkle in a 1/2 cup of sugar. And this is gonna make it like a really nice, glossy, gorgeous color. My sugar's in here. See, it's even thicker now. I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape the sides with my thing here. Make sure we got all that sugar from off the sides. Throw this back on, and then we're gonna put it onto a medium high and just let it go until we get nice stiff peaks. All right, look at that now. Ooh. And it just holds that. You see how it just held it there for such a long time? This is such a nice, luxurious texture. I love, love, love meringue. I think I still want to do this a tiny bit longer. I want it to hold a little bit better than that. That's still a little stringy to me. I want to let it hold a tiny bit more. Throw this back on real fast. Probably won't take more than just a couple, maybe a minute more. There we go. That is what I'm looking for. Nice stiff peak. When you bring it up like that, it holds. It doesn't try to drip down. Look at that. Oh, well, you can't see it. There we go. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? I don't know why. I'm obsessed with meringue. Anyways, this is where we want it. So on to the next step. Okay, so these are just out of the oven. They are still warm, but they look so nice. And these will just pop right out. Just, see, pops right out. I'm just gonna put them on here. And some of these pockets are nice and deep. I don't know if you can tell, it's decently deep. And some of them got a huge air pocket and came out a little bit wonky, but it'll still be okay. I'm gonna pop all these out now. All right, so you know what? I kind of like the way these ones popped up on the side. They almost look like little flowers. Some of these are a little bit on the wonky side, but like I said, these are just for me, my family, so who cares? So what I'm gonna do is put it in my piping bag. And actually, let me show you a trick. Hold on. I just have a little cup here. And if you put your piping bag in the cup, it's so much easier. I'm sure tons of you already know this already, but there you go. So, like I said before, typically this would be still kind of runny, but right now it's very, I mean, it's not like it's gelatinous, it's just very stiff. So we're gonna go ahead and throw some in here. I'm not even gonna need this whole amount. All right, so I'm just gonna snip off the tip. A little larger than I typically would do it, but enough that this will squeeze out. And we're just gonna stick it right into the center. Well, it still pipes out beautifully. All right, and we still have plenty of leftover. Just squeeze it back in here, and I can use this for anything later. This, I think, will last up to 2 weeks in the fridge. So I will double check that though. All right, now for my favorite part, the meringue. I'm gonna do the same thing with the cup. This time I'm going to be using a tip, and you can use one that has, I'm just using one that's just a simple round opening tip. I don't know if you can see it, but it's, you can use one that has a little design on it. I just think this looks nice. And this is a Wilton 1A. If that means anything to cake decorators, I don't know. I just grab tips. I'm sure when I get better, I'll know. Gonna throw this in here. Snip off what I need. Push it down so it's nice in there. Throw it into my cup. And pipe this beautiful meringue. I love meringue. So yummy. Can always get more. I pushed too hard. All right, so I'm just gonna do a little swirly bob. That is the technical term, swirly bob. Beautiful. Right now, my favorite part, the blowtorch. We're just gonna lightly sweep across it to make them a nice golden brown color. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And then I will turn this and do the other side. Ooh. Guess I shouldn't have done this on parchment paper, wasn't thinking. I'll light my house on fire. Right. Turn it. Time for the taste test. Very good. If you want to see more of my videos, please like and subscribe below. Have a great day, everybody.